Madam, it is a matter of cash. Welcome to the Cash Madam, where here we talk about timeless principles about money and wealth building. Now, a lot of people have been asking, who is this Cash Madam? Well, I am a West African girl who grew up in the middle class and immigrated to the United States for graduate school. So I have experience navigating life and finances in unpredictable economies like a lot of the countries in West Africa and in the developing world. And I also have experience managing finances as a very broke college student. And then I have experience building wealth as a working class immigrant in the Midwest of the United States. Now, I have already mentioned a whole lot of privileges that I started out with that made this transition a lot smoother. My family at the time was considered middle class. I didn't have to necessarily take care of anyone. I did get into school on a scholarship. And so that eased the way for a lot of things that I was able to get. However, if any of this helps you and any part of my story helps you, then take it and add it to your growing tool belt of things that helps you achieve financial independence. Now, why did I start this podcast? Quite frankly, too many people kept on asking me questions. I had a lot of my immigrant friends asking me questions, mostly African, which would be mostly Nigerian, Ghanaian, Kenyan. I have a couple of Zimbabwean friends. My Asian friends, a lot of Indian, a couple of Chinese. And they would ask me questions that are, in a sense, somewhat unique to the immigrant community, but now I see is actually creeping into the United States. And this is the situation of a sandwich generation. They were asking me questions of homes where they are one generation away from poverty. What that means is that either they or their parents grew up in extreme poverty and somehow was able to climb their way out of it. The issue with that is it creates a sandwich generation where you, in the middle, have to pay for your parents, their retirement, and their upkeep because they were just so busy building themselves out of poverty that they didn't have it, and taking care of your kids that are below. And so the issue with that is it is one step away from going back to the poverty from which your family came out of. I find this situation a little bit unique to the immigrant community because I talked to a financial guru, and I'm not going to mention his name, but well known on TV. They talk about the top 5 financial gurus. This guy isn't one of them. And I said, what do I do? How do I take care of my parents who are ailing and are towards the age of retirement, that in my culture, you take care of your parents. And in a sense, you're their retirement plan. And the answer he gave me was not satisfying. He said, well, you have to tell them that mom, dad, you have to figure out your own finances by yourself. What did you have saved? What did you have there? And they have to deal with it. And I was like, there is no way. My parents do not have very much saved. There just wasn't the ability. In my case, my family was middle class, but my family lived through a great recession. Not a recession, rather, a depression. The 1980s oil crisis that hit the United States, what it did for a lot of countries within Africa is it removed a zero from the currency. So imagine you having $1 million for your 401k retirement, and by the time you're retired, that money's worth $150,000. That has completely shot a good hole, and that was inflation because, inflation was going crazy. It was 10-20%. So that has shot a good hole in your retirement account. You have no choice. You have to lean on your kids. And that's the people who were middle class, not to mention the ones who were actually poor. So I decided to come up and read and look about things that would help my family and help the families around me to somehow manage their finances so that they can live in some amount of comfort, take care of their kids, and take care of their parents as well. I'm going to be honest, it's going to be very difficult. You will not live the way, like Dave Ramsey would say, you will live a life that's different than other people so that you can live differently than other people when you're done with it. And so that is the aim of this channel. I hope that this will be helpful to you. I hope that this is going to be great. And just in case you're an American and you're feeling like this does not apply to you, well, right now, we are hitting a situation where a lot of millennials are becoming the sandwich generation because their parents, the baby boomers and older, because of a lot of different financial instabilities that have happened in the United States, are not being able to rely as much on their retirement as they could. Either they were not able to save as much, or the value of their retirement eroded. And so we are getting into a situation where this is an everybody problem. This is not an immigrant problem. This is an everybody problem. I am bringing the immigrant angle to it because this is an older problem for us, it seems. And we just have to, I've seen a lot of wisdom in communities that tend to be immigrants, where they tend to be 3 or 4 generations living in the same household. They have a little bit of a different way of life that might give us wisdom into how we should manage our finances. So my aim is that you will be financially independent, that you will be completely independent so that your children will not have to take care of you in your retirement. Your retirement will fund that, so that your kids are completely free to do whatever they want to do. So if this is you, like and subscribe, and let's get into a lot of the tactics that I've been seeing out in the world. Take care.